Welcome to the Week 4 wrap-up here at this 16th season of Blood, Sweat, and Beers. How important would you say mid-season pickups are for the overall success of your team? We have very few trades typically over the course of any given season in this league, but obviously we're all very active, or most of us are very active on the waiver, trying to fill gaps or cover an injury, or maybe even trying to spot that mid to late season sleeper that will help us make a run for the playoffs. But truly, how important do you feel like that is? Do you rely more on the draft? I know that sometimes our number one picks have gone down. We keep hearing about how Adrian Peterson was Ponch's number one pick one of the years he won the championship. So obviously it's not critical, although it helps if your number one pick is good and healthy throughout the year. But I'm curious how you feel those pickups mid-season are. How many of you can you remember having a mid-season pickup, again, whether you traded or you picked somebody up off the waiver, that you feel actually helped you get to the playoffs, or even for those who have a championship or more under their belts, got you through and actually helped you win the championship? I'm curious. I don't find that my waiver wire pickups are generally all that good. And that could just be me, my lack of involvement mid-season when I'm looking at other players, or just not being able to project ahead and see the guy that ramps up in mid-season has some sort of a pickup to his game. But that could just be me, and if I fact-checked it, maybe I'm even wrong in how I think back and remember it. Curious how you remember your seasons over the years in those mid-season pickups. And the reason why I asked that is because obviously there's some discussion about Christian McCaffrey going down and some other issues. So I was kind of curious what you gentlemen thought. Let's take a quick look back at Week 4's action, starting with the commish. Second time for commish being the lowest of the winning scores. Happened in Week 1, happened again here in Week 4. They say defense wins championships, but not the Miami defense. They're not going to win anything. Although they got me enough points to cover what I needed to anyway. But what I like about this is that, first of all, I won. Second of all, I did it with another goose egg from Mark Andrews. Now, I did say that I was going to blame Mark Andrews no matter what happened. I'm going to hold to that. I blame Mark Andrews for Joe's anxiety. Now, granted, Joe brings enough of his own anxiety most of the time to cover everything that's necessary. But this time I'm going to blame Mark Andrews. If he had done his normal stat line, not this season's, previous seasons, just a modest, maybe 5 for 50, right? 5 catches, 50 yards, give or take, somewhere around 10 points. I don't think Joe goes into the game Monday night feeling like he's got a shot, even with Derrick Henry's 40-point performance on Sunday. I feel like he probably would have truly conceded already, but because Mark Andrews scored 0 points, couldn't bring down that one target that he officially had, which he's done twice now, the last 2 weeks, I think that caused Joe to have a little bit of hope. And as the Miami defense just let Tennessee run all over, their score started coming down. Just those couple of little catches from Tyreek, it was like, could it be? Is it possible? And then obviously by the end of the game, it was not. So I'm blaming Mark Andrews, even though I won. I'm saying that he's a bad man, and not in a good way. So anyway, Joe, you still have a 17% chance to make the playoffs, as we'll see when we look at the standings. You're not completely out of it yet. So moving on to Poncho and Augustus Gloop. Poncho showed up. This was rough because 6 of his players broke 20 points. Frankly, there was absolutely nothing to do. Nothing Gloop could have done, I should say, to beat him. High score of the week. And in fact, when you look at his bench, even though he left a running back with 23 points, 80 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the bench, He's still that guy in his lineup wouldn't have helped him anywhere. So that's saying something, I guess. Unfortunately, Gloop stumbles again, 0-4, starting to look like the week 2 overreaction of him not making the playoffs might actually just be reality. Skibbity and read option. Okay, well, this was another interesting one. Sorry, Skibbity, that was a rough outing. Just nobody over 20 points there, not even on your bench. So that was a struggle all the way around. Read option, Alex Plays really looking like a solid team. Stumbled out of the gate in week 1, didn't break 100, but since then has been on quite a tear, despite his complaint about Patrick Mahomes not scoring Patrick Mahomes-like numbers. Obviously, he hasn't needed it. And so if he does return to true Patrick Mahomes form, AB could be a tough matchup down the line. So we'll see how that plays out. Jersey Birds and Little Bro. Ooh, this was a tough one too. Big score, 174 points from Jersey Birds. Really nothing that Puzzles could have done. He even if he swaps out Jordan Love for Kyler, he's still way short. So too many goose eggs all across the board. Christian Watson at a double zeros there. That's kind of rough. Not a lot you can do to overcome that. Now, what I do like about Jersey Birds is that not only did he score second most points this week, he's also making good on what's probably not an overreaction that he is going to end up with the championship, because he also had 90 plus points on the bench. So he's got some points to slide in to move around with. In fact, even his IR scored points this week. So watch out for Jersey Birds. It's looking like he's the team to beat on either side in the league entirely. Slipopotamus slipped a little bit, got his first loss of the season to Fatty Fish Lips. Where's the new name, girls? We're waiting on it. Regardless, Slipopotamus here goes under 100. There's very difficult to win if you're not going to score triple digits in the league the way it is today. Way too many injury designations that he was taking into that game. I don't know that he had a real solid shot at taking this game or making it a game along the way. Just 36 points sitting on his bench because he had just too many guys that were hurt or not playing. So we'll see if he can right the ship a little bit, and if Fatty Fish Lips can get a new name, then hopefully that rattles him a little bit and pushes him back down underneath the guys at the top in the East, which let's take a look at. Look at the standings that we have here. No real surprise. We're only 4 weeks in, so it's not that big a deal. Everybody's got a shot, even at 17 or 21% for the guys that are 0-4. Now, what I do want to make mention of is that playoff percentage. We wonder what it's based on. I still kind of wonder what it's based on. All those numbers go into the Watson black box and they spit out a number. But here's an interesting thing. As of yesterday, even though I'm number 1 in the East right now, tied, but really I win the tie break because of beating AB in week 1. I had a 77% chance to make the playoffs, which was actually just 5th best out of everybody, despite actually being the number 1 team in the West. But with the pickup of a legit tight end, I picked up Firemouth from waivers, and just with that pickup, I bumped up to 80% chance. It's interesting. So it's not just the points you score, it's your winning percentage, your roster, what they're looking at. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But as we look at the numbers now, it looks pretty open in the West because it drops off pretty significantly after those first 2. And frankly, this early on, it's anybody's guess what'll happen. Joe might go on one of his epic 10-game winning streaks and dismantle the whole thing. So we'll see. I'd love to see how that goes. But quick look at the season stats. Again, no real surprise. Jersey Birds, he's running away with the points title here. He's number 1 in points for sure, first to break 600. And I do want to point out that your number 2 team, Commish, actually has the fewest points scored in the league. That's right. Even Pet Detectives has 0.4 of a point more over the course of the first 4 weeks of the season. So I'm going to go back to defense wins championships. But then I already said Miami's not going to win anything. I guess I need to pick up a better defense. But so far, thank you guys for not showing up when you play me. So we'll see how the rest of the year shapes out. Looking forward to week 5. Have fun.